Yes. Limitations of valence bond theory, the point we are going to consider, and the limitations which we are now going to consider, those limitations will lead to, or as a result of these limitations, we then, our destiny, we then got a new concept, theory, concept of hybridization. So before going for concept of hybridization, a new concept, the limitations which lead to what we call as concept of hybridization. Okay, limitations of, the first limitation, valency. Now as per VBT, observed valency. Now as per valence bond theory, what we know, the number of unpaired electrons in the outermost shell, valence shell, is equal to the number of covalent bonds formed. Then according to that, let us consider electronic configuration of carbon. One S, 2S, 2px, 2py, 2pz. Let me write it 2p subshell. Carbon atomic number is 6. 1s2, 2s2, 5, 6. Last electron enters in 2py, 2px, 2py, 2pz. Therefore, n equal to 2 is the outermost shell. So, in the outermost shell, elemental carbon, electronic configuration of elemental carbon, uncombined, one lone pair and two unpaired electrons. So, in the outermost shell of carbon, there are two unpaired electrons. Therefore, expected valency is equal to 2. Actual valency is equal to 4. Carbon valency is 4. We know so many compounds, methane for example, ethane, valency of carbon is 4. So there are so many such examples. Okay, boron, beryllium, even example of boron atomic number 5, we can consider the electronic configuration 1s, 2s, 2p, 5 electrons, and therefore here up to 2p we can fill 10, we have 5, therefore no need to write the subshells 1s, 2s, 2px, 2py, 2pz, 3 orbitals, 2p subshell, let me write in short, 1s2, 2s2, 4 and 5th. Last electron enters into 2px, means n equal to 2 is the outermost shell. The number of unpaired electrons in the outermost shell is 1. Boron is expected to be monovalent as per valence bond theory, because number of unpaired electrons in the outermost shell, valence shell, is equal to the number of covalent bonds formed, and it is followed by many examples but not followed by many. Nitrogen, in the outermost shell there are 3 unpaired electrons. We observe that nitrogen in ammonia valency 3. Oxygen, 2 lone pairs, 2 unpaired, means outermost shell has 2 unpaired electrons. Electron configuration we have considered earlier. As per that, the valency of oxygen is 2. So oxygen, it forms 2 single bonds or 1 double bond. So many elements follow that. So boron is expected to be, expected valency is 2. Expected valency is 1. Actual is 3. Actual. So the valency can't be explained. Now, so this becomes the limitation of valence bond theory, as now we have considered. There can be so many examples we are going to consider. As per the rule, number of electrons in the outermost shell, unpaired electrons, single electrons, half-filled, atomic orbitals. In carbon it is 2, in boron it is 1, but carbon is not divalent, it is tetravalent. Boron is trivalent, BF3. It forms 3 bonds. According to valence bond theory, number of unpaired electrons in the outermost shell, it is only 1. Expected to be mono, but it is actually trivalent. So that is one point. Expected valency and actual observed valency in case of some elements, compounds of some elements, carbon, boron, beryllium, it is different, and therefore something else is needed. VBT is not enough, valence bond theory. Again, the limitation we can say, I can write here, the observed geometry, cannot be explained as per VBT. We can take very simple example of oxygen, water molecule formation. Now, since the atomic number 8, 1s2, 2s2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so last electron enters in 2px, okay, and therefore n equal to 2 is the outermost shell. In the outermost shell there are 2 lone pairs and 2 unpaired electrons. So in the outermost shell there are 2 unpaired electrons. Let this be 2py, let this be 2pz, okay. Then this will be the direction of 2px, one lobe on our side, other lobe on opposite side of the blackboard. Nucleus, oxygen atom, okay, oxygen nucleus. So one unpaired electron in 2py, one unpaired electron in 2pz, and hydrogen with opposite spin when it will approach, hydrogen atom, second hydrogen atom with opposite spin when it will approach. So nucleus of hydrogen, nucleus of oxygen, line joining the 2 nuclei, nucleus of oxygen, nucleus of hydrogen, line joining the 2 nuclei. Since py and pz are perpendicular to each other, and line joining the 2 nuclei, nucleus of hydrogen and nucleus of oxygen, again similarly nucleus of oxygen and nucleus of hydrogen, and since pz and py are perpendicular, we expect that HOH bond angle, it should be 90, should be 90 degrees. Actually it is near about 104 degrees. So some other factor is there which decides the geometry. Here, valency point of view, in the outermost shell, number of unpaired electrons present in the outermost shell, 2 unpaired electrons, and 2 valencies are formed by oxygen in H2O molecule formation. So that way it does not violate. But geometry means the bond angle expected is 90 degrees, but actually it is 104, it is different. So this difference in geometry, the bond angle, HOH bond angle example of water we have taken, it cannot be explained on the basis of VBT, and therefore this again becomes the limitations of VBT. These are the two most important limitations of valence bond theory.